everyone, my name is James. Welcome to the new series of DarkSpine intermediate level tutorials. Before we begin, we will talk about how the link system between our objects and our editor works. DarkSpine contains an object called Deco. This object is the parent of the two most important objects for operating the editor: Object Deco Creator and Object Deco. This object will never call by the editor, but it serves so that the Deco objects created in the editor start with a small amount of information that will help us to use all the tools of our editor and save the data in our Deco object. So without further delay, we will see a very simple example and we will level up in each chapter of this series. We have opened the object level warp to show you the methodology that must be followed to take advantage of all features of our editor. All objects that have to be modified in real time must belong to the Deco family. Once the father is assigned, we can create our custom objects and take advantages of the tool. We will do this as usual, with the difference of having to call the function event inherit so as not to lose the initial information of our father. We have created two variables that represent a folder and a level saved in our editor. In the collision event, we have set an alarm to load our levels and thus be able to create a transition of 1 second before it begins to load. Deco objects contain a variable that is automatically saved when packing a label. This variable becomes an array at the moment we assign them in the editor. But let's start with assigning an object from our asset tree. Opening the inspector panel, we can manually assign the object to be created when the level starts. We are offered to execute an event when this happens, an event to be able to execute our objects in real time. For this purpose, neither of these two options will be necessary. If we go to the variable panel, we can assign the extra data mentioning to load a level by writing their name. When colliding with our player, he will execute the variable assigning the panel and the level will be loaded. Now let's see a slightly more complex object for the following example. In this case, we will see how to configure an ambient light. As you can see, our object contains a create event, a user-defined event, a step event, and a draw event. Following what I have learned, I must parent it with the Deco object. We start inheriting the event, and here we can see a small difference comparing to the previous object. Let me load a level that contains this object. We can see in the create event of our object a new variable called val, which forms an array. This array is a bridge between the variables inserted in the editor and those that come by default. Thus, if we want to update our object by adding or removing functionalities, our editor does not crash when acquiring or losing data. But what happens when one begins a level and this object is transformed to another? You have thought, does not lose this the values assigned in the editor? Yes, for that I created the create end event for this case, using the event user system. The event must be activated in our inspector panel. And what it does is update the initial variables with the variables inserted in the editor. In this way, we will control from the event create how many variables will be updated, being able to increase the functionalities without bugging the levels that contains this object. So the level is called assigning the new variables to the main array. From there, our variables will be updated from this array. Whenever we assign an object, if it contains an array in the variable variables, it will be destroyed, and we must set up it again. As you can see, our variables contain text. In a few moments, we will explain the operation to assign text and be represented in our object. In this case, the object set a blend mode to draw, and the draw method is executed. The draw method is a script that we can assign to the object to draw. In that way, combinations are endless. Looking toward the inspector, we can configure this draw method and assign any script. To assign manually a script, you just have to click on the Draw Method button. And sorry for the current UI, this will be fixed. This type of object can run in real time, representing our ambient, so we are able to set to true the variable object execute. This means that every time we load our level from the editor, it will be executed in its final form. If we remove this option, the next time we reload our level, it will not be executed. So it returns to its original form, and therefore we cannot see anything until we rerun the object. In the next video, we will go up one level and see how the lighting system works. Now we are going to see how to name our variables to later identify them in our editor. It's very simple. We just have to open the script DKS editor scripting init. The only thing we will have to do is add our object to a map that is created when the editor started. This map is destroyed when leaving it, releasing the data in the final version of your level. So you only need to write the script DKS editor scripting add, set your object, and set the variables in the same order they were created. And that's it. You have a component system for your editor, and you can see the variables names assigned to every object. That's all for now. In the next video we will see the lighting system. If you like the content, subscribe to the channel. And if you like the tool, you can already buy the GMS1 version on the YoYo Marketplace store. It's a great help, which allows me to continue developing the second version of this work. I leave the link below. Thanks for watching, and see you soon!